All right, everybody, we're live. Welcome to a sort of a blend this evening of our regular Carnivore Campfire live stream, but I have some special guests with me this evening.
Hey.
Welcome to JT and Anna, Poko Moonshine Family, and little
Mama.
William.
And William, right. We're all here.
Mama.
Yes, that's your mama. We're watching ourselves on the screen.
So yeah, we thought we'd just get an update from you guys, and we'll just kind of chat. If anybody's got questions, you can throw those in. We're going to talk about the meetup we've got coming up here in about a week, which is very exciting, and some other things that have happened recently. So, welcome, guys. Thanks for joining in and chatting tonight.
Absolutely. We're excited to be here. It's been a while, but we didn't give up on carnivore. We didn't say, "Hey, man, we're carbivores again." Go start a carbivore channel. Right? No. So yeah,
Yeah,
no.
sometimes you get busy with life, but then I look at your channel and I'm like, oh, they haven't posted in a while. What happened? So
Well, it's been a busy
uh,
summer for sure. Yes.
awesome. Well, we got a few people in the house already. We got Jean here. Hello, everybody. Lisa's here. A chilly day in Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Excellent.
Okay.
So thanks everybody for being here. So yeah, give us maybe a little update. How's your summer been? How are things been going with carnivore, and what you guys been up to?
Sorry, I had myself muted. It's been going good. We basically, I'm doing like ketovore now, so I lean more towards meat because I really can't add in junk. I really just can't. Like I don't like. I'm actually like I was just saying earlier before the stream. I'm physically blessed with like a very sensitive gut and stomach. Like the slightest anything junk, I'm just gonna feel sick. So, for ketovore, like I can add in hard shell tacos, like the corn, because it's corn. If I have two or three of those, that does not throw me out of ketosis, and it doesn't make me feel like crap at all, which is good. I don't like the soft shell ones. I won't do that, but I will do the taco seasoning. That's the other thing that goes with that. Some carbs in there. That doesn't bother me. Um, French fries and ketchup. So there's four things I've added in that that doesn't kick me out of ketosis. That allows me to feel like I'm having some fun, and yeah, I just really enjoy it. I got the French fry thing from Dr. Kiltz when I interviewed him. He was like, "Yeah, you can have French fries." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay." So that was interesting. But you make them yourself. You cut them up, throw them in the pig lard, and it's not like a McDonald's fry that's got 33 ingredients. It's got two, and maybe if you add salt, it's got an extra ingredient.
Yeah, I've seen him make those, and I feel like French fries, potatoes were one of my ultimate nemesis. Like potato chips were something I used to binge hardcore on.
I like
It was
it
all
too.
like salty stuff like that, so I feel like I would not be safe even around. I used to make my own homemade sweet potato fries and all that kind of stuff, but I still wouldn't trust myself around them. But
Hey, that's okay. That's okay.
hey, like if you can have a handful of those every now and then, more power to you. So.
Yeah,
What
and
about
I
you,
don't.
Anna? How have you been doing?
Well, just I'm not doing the weight scale anymore either. So yes, buddy. I'm not doing the weight scale anymore. I just do the mirror. So
Oh, okay.
I have been trying to figure out, kind of problem solve, because I'm hitting another stall, but it's been longer than any other ones. So I'm trying to problem solve, what have I been eating that maybe it needs to be cut out. Like I think it's pork rinds, unfortunately for me, and then um, I was making carnivore ice cream, and it never affected me until very recently. So I feel like I'm playing around more with what I need to adjust, at least for now. So I'm good, but it's installed a little bit. So it's again problem solving. Like, oh, what do I need to change? Kind of switch up.
I was stalled for like 6 months
Yeah.
before, like I wasn't losing any weight and I was actually getting frustrated. I talked about that on a different video, but I think she's in one of those stages where her body's just like doing a recomposition, but it just doesn't say it on the scale.
Yeah. I fit into something that I never fit into like months ago or like a year ago. So I know it's changing. It's just one of those moments where you have to trust the process a little bit and wait for my body to adjust. And like I was overweight for a long time. So since I was in high school, at least, so I can't expect my body to resolve itself in a year or even two. It's got to be, I got to make those changes for a long time. And just really be consistent, I think, is the important thing. Hi, honey. I was talking to Jen from Homestead How about maybe doing lion diet. I just have a hard time, I think, cutting out things like bacon and stuff, but we'll see. I might, if like cutting out those things doesn't help, I'm going to probably end up switching to something like that for at least a temporary time. So, yeah, I've gotten a new job and things, so we've been just a little bit busier. And so it's good. It's all good changes. It's just life gets busy sometimes. So
Yeah, for sure. And I totally relate to that too. And I think it's important to talk about, our stalls too and stuff because I'm not necessarily coming from a weight loss perspective, but more of a gut health and skin issue and, healing like that. And I've had my ups and downs this last year. And, I still have a little ways to go. And I have to remind myself of that too. It's like, man, how many years was my body from either eating the wrong foods unknowingly or eating junk knowing it was bad and drinking too much and all these, over fasting and then binging and then, all this crazy stuff I did. It's like, yeah, 12 months is not very long to undo all of that, So it's really, and I think it's probably better that things happen slower too, because like detoxification and all it's a lot of work for our bodies to do. And it takes a lot of energy. And if we're forcing it or if we're really trying to push it too hard, we'd probably feel sick and exhausted and feel bad anyway. So
Gotta let
that's
it
what I have
happen.
to remind myself too. Yeah, just like it's gonna happen. The body's intelligent; it knows what it's doing, and
I call it carnivore
and
cruise control. You just get in a cruise control, and it's not even carnivore.
yes.
It's like keto cruise control. You can feel yourself in keto. It's a good feeling. You can once you've done like carnivore and keto long enough, you know what that feeling of ketosis is, and I love it. I'm addicted to that feeling of ketosis. So yeah, yeah. What kind of ketovore? Ketovore.
Yeah. So let's see. Cyber Goose. Okay. Yeah, lots of people saying long time no see. Where you guys been? Happy to see you all back. So that's awesome.
Been at the
Judah Bide says he met you at a meetup in Thiensville.
Thiensville. Yep, that's where we live. Good old Thiensville.
Okay,
What
Thiensville.
up, dude?
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah, like it was good to meet you too. We're gonna be at the meetup. Nia, you're coming.
Mm-hmm.
So the next meetup here is next Saturday, and if you guys want to meet Nia, you gotta show up.
You gotta show up. Yep, I'll be back in my home state, which is exciting.
What? You're from here? What? Do I?
Yeah,
Did I just not remember? Did you tell me that when I interviewed you?
probably. But yeah, I grew up there. Lived there till I was about 18, and then I've lived in like a bunch of other states since then. But yeah, my parents still live up north. Like in the northern part of the state. So coming up to visit them like for
Where
about a
at?
week, and then we're gonna drive down
Where do your
and
parents live?
they live about an hour like northwest of Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls area.
Oh, okay, okay, up there.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
So like between the Twin Cities and Eau Claire,
Mhm. Yep,
kind of. So yeah,
that's
it's
cool. Yeah.
so pretty there. So yeah, Illy and I are coming up and um, do the pumpkin patch, and they're gonna do some apple picking while I'm at the event on Saturday. So
There's
You
a
do all
farm
the
by Gary's too that sometimes we do like a road trip and go to, but we'll see what happens this time. But I'm excited. I've met you through the screen, but to actually get to meet you and hug you, that
Oh
would be
yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz,
I know.
that is on my bucket list to meet Dr. Kiltz. You guys, and I've seen some I've seen some exclusive footage of the documentary. Um, you guys, my favorites, I'm just going to put it out there, okay? Bill, Alaska, okay? He's a beautiful soul. He did amazing.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz's part, amazing. I'm just giving you my top 3. And my other top 3, Jeff DeProsperous, folks. Um, I say rest in peace, but man, he rest in paradise. I mean, he's the truest form of free now. He's free and he's not suffering. And the fact that it surprised everybody should show everybody how tough of a fighter he was, that he would come on here and take his time to cut videos for you guys and everybody, when he could have just spent all that time with his family, but he put himself out there. And like, what a great guy that he gave us a chance to get to know him. So if you guys get a chance, to anybody out there, to donate, I'm sure a lot of you have, but there's no way I could come on here and talk with you guys and not talk about my buddy Jeff DeProsperous. Carrie called me on the day, and it just tore me up all day. And yeah, it's tough, but um, Jeff Jeff was a fighter, and we're gonna continue to fight. And he's gonna have the biggest win you guys have ever seen when the documentary comes out, because when you see his part, gosh, what a guy. So, and I was honored he even ever wore one of my bucket hats, and took the time to get to know me. So, shout out to Jeff, shout out to his 2 sons and his wife, and everybody who's donated to the GoFundMe. Shout out to Carrie for being a good friend, going out there, being a pallbearer. Like, you guys, this is the real deal. This is life. We're in this together. So, documentary is very important, and God bless Jeff for blessing it. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's I'm so glad that at least, he got to be filmed for the documentary, so at least, all of the work that he did and all of the effort he put into trying to, get the word out that diet has a piece in this. It has a role and it can definitely make a difference, and
he's
like we were
gonna
talking
live
about
forever in that documentary.
backstage. Yeah, like, how much time did he gain with his family and with his loved ones that he may not have had if he hadn't done all of that. And so, um, yeah, that means so much. And I think, yeah, cancer is a tough one. It's so individual, and it's such a weird thing to try to figure out. So, yeah, I just put the link here in the chat, for his GoFundMe. If
Thank
anybody hasn't come across that yet, it's there. Um, so yeah, dude is asking. Oh, he said you officiated a wedding in Trigo. If I can read, that's not far from me. That's right up in my uh, neck of the woods. And so the meetup is in Montello, at Carrie's
Saturday.
Theater on Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 12th. I think it's 2 to 6, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken.
Me and Anna's gonna be there. Nia's gonna be there. Dr. Kiltz is gonna be there. Carrie's gonna be there. Hopefully, you guys are gonna be there. Like, everybody watching, let's go!
Yeah, I heard it was sold out. So I think
Sold out.
however
Come on,
many
standing room
tickets.
tickets now.
Yeah, standing room only. So
Let's go.
yeah, and we're gonna go eat barbecue afterwards. So I think that's gonna
Okay,
be
we're
super
changing
awesome.
venues. We're changing venues. Open the
Yeah.
tickets back up.
Yeah, it's so neat that Dr. Kilt is flying all the way up from Florida,
In
I'm
his
I'm
jet.
glad he's gonna be here. Really?
Yeah, you ain't, like Riff Raff would say, you ain't rich yet unless you fly in private jet. Okay? Dr. Kiltz is that guy. He's that guy. He owns his own jet, flies his own jet, knows how to fly.
Really?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a
He's
whole nother level. Okay.
like
That's super
Superman.
cool.
He's gonna fly in on his plane and then fly back out. Like, That's what I'm
Hey,
saying. This is
that's
bucket list stuff for me to meet Dr. Kiltz.
yeah.
He's a next level human, and he's a beautiful person, man. Because the message he left Jeff the Prosperous, gosh, what a guy Dr. Kiltz is. What a guy, dude. Just love it, man.
Yeah, I got to like talk to him for a little bit at the Hack Your Health conference. I don't know if he remembers, talking to me, but I filmed him a little bit and put it in my vlog. He was talking. We were standing by one of the booths that I think they were selling supplement, like a custom like green drink supplement or something like that. So it was just kind of funny because we were talking about carnivore and fiber and plants and all plant toxins and all this stuff, and they were kind of like, okay. Um, but yeah, he just seems like he's always on fire. Like as soon as he gets going, it's like he's just like go and go. You can just feel that energy. Like he truly believes in this, and um, yeah, I hope we get to see. Are we going to get to see some more of the footage from the documentary? Like any
Well,
more of the interviews
sure.
from that
Yeah, and
there
then there's gonna be a
that hasn't been
tribute
seen yet?
to Jeff in there. So it's
Okay.
gonna be fun. You're gonna want to be there. Just the camaraderie and get to meet everybody and shake hands and hug it out and take photos. That's worth it alone. And then let alone what we're gonna be doing. Then there's the dinner afterwards. So it's gonna be fun. Every meetup's fun. That's why I don't miss them for nothing. I don't care if I can put out a video for how long. I ain't gonna miss nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruby goats, how you doing? How are those goats doing and the chickens and those kids?
Yeah, she was just on our last carnivore mastermind on Thursday. We had a little hot seat where we dropped the link into the chat, and so she popped on and on camera and told her story a little bit and talked about her goats and
She's
where the
doing
name came from. So
freaking
that was
great.
fun.
So yeah, one of the many
Yeah.
people who's just come a long way, and carnivore's treating them good. So or ketovore, whatever's whatever
Hmm.
works best for you guys. Do that just as long as you're winning.
Yeah. So Anna, tell me about like because you mentioned maybe trying lion or like
Yeah.
maybe some of the things that um so like what is your carnivore diet been looking like? Because mine's changed a little bit too over the last, I'd say over the summer. I've cut more things out that I was like, really? I have to let these go too. But
Right.
so it's like when you said pork rinds, I was like, yeah, that's something I know I can just like sit there and snack on when I'm not hungry, or at night I find myself like, oh, I'm working on my computer too late, which I shouldn't be doing. But then I'm like, oh, let me grab these pork rinds, and it just totally throws me off. So um, tell us about how you're doing with that.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think part of it might just be me eating too late. So you mentioned that, and I feel like sometimes when I eat too late, I get bloated overnight. When I eat like the salty like pork rinds, I think that has an effect on my body a little bit. So realizing that the time of day I think is kind of I realized this like a couple days ago that I feel like that's connected to some of it. And so I think I'm just starting to start eating a little bit less late than I used to. I am going to cut those things out and just see if that helps. I've been my day ebbs and flows from day to day as far as like how much I'm eating. Sometimes I have two meals, sometimes I have one. Um, because I have a pretty busy schedule, like just working with kids and stuff. And so if I just have a really busy day, I'm at my work the whole day, I will probably just have one meal. But if I'm home, I might have like a couple pieces of bacon in the morning, but it's not a super big meal. Um, and then just really upping the water. I think sometimes I get into those ruts where I just am so focused on what I'm doing, I literally sometimes don't drink water for a while. And so I think that's a big part of it too. Like your body functions on a lot of water. It needs a lot of water. And so I think I that's part of my issue too is I'm having such high sodium items and then not having enough water and then your body just holds on to it. So I think I have to adjust a couple of those things. As far as what I'm eating, it's pretty similar to what I was doing before. We do a lot of bacon, sausage.
Lots
We
of
still have
burger
steak from
patties.
now and then, but like I that's why I'm hesitant to do line just because I kind of went through a period where I was eating a lot of steak, and now I'm like, I don't really want a steak. Um,
Yeah, we've been
every
on a
once in a while.
burger kick, like
Yeah,
lots of burger patties.
I was gonna say that's what I've been more into lately. And we were into eggs for a while, and then I'm like, I don't really want eggs, so I'm just kind of like cycling through options here and there. Yeah, and then every once in a while we'll make like the power balls. We just had those last week, and that was pretty good. Which was like the bacon wrapped meatballs, and those were really good. So yeah, just more so changing up a couple of things. I have to kind of look and see how my body will change as I cut out like the pork rinds, and I would eat those with a little bit of sour cream, so cutting out some of that because it could be too much dairy. I have to kind of look at it over day to day and see what makes it kick back in, what the weight loss kick back in, and so yeah.
But you've lost how much now since you started?
120 pounds.
Yeah.
So I also
Like, that's crazy.
yeah, I have to remind myself, like, I'm not that person, like, that same size, and I have to not focus on, like, if I'm stalled, it's okay. Like, I just have to give myself a little bit of grace. I think that is something I've discovered on this journey is I'm so, like, was so focused on the scale. Like, I think I need to heal kind of that part of myself that it's not dependent on the scale. Like, I have to look at myself and feel how I feel in my clothes and look at those things and not so much focus on the scale. I've realized that, like, even Jen, she wouldn't weigh herself for like a month or something like that. I'm like, I could never, like, in my mind, I'm like, I could never do that. Like, it's just too, like, it's a little bit of control almost for me in a sense. So I think
Mhm.
something that I've just discovered is I just have to let go a little bit of the scale.
I
Because,
don't even check it no more.
the
I just
mental.
look in the mirror. I'm like, I look good. I look damn good in the mirror. And I look even better naked. So I was like, I'm doing. Why do I need to hop on a scale? The scale is what's it going to tell
Right,
me that I don't know already?
right. So I would say that's the main thing. Is I'm learning a little bit about myself, yeah, even though it's been a little bit over a year into my journey. It's just, give yourself some grace. Like, don't be overly hard on yourself because I think that does not so great things for your mental health. And then you're not feeling right, and you're not going to eat the best or have the best habits if you're constantly like down on yourself because you're not seeing progress on the scale, even though you might be having progress. So yeah.
Sometimes it just takes a little
Yeah.
bit to catch up, but you got to get in that rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get in that rhythm, you get the flow going, and you're just winning all the time, and you ain't gonna stop winning.
Yeah, and the more time goes by too, I think, and you just settle in, like you were saying, kind of with that cruise control mentality. It's like we're just, and that's kind of around my year mark too. I thought, I need to let go of some of these things too. Where I'm like, I've still got this patch of little bit of psoriasis on my knee that just will not go away, and I have like a spot on my, like it keeps changing places, but it just won't leave, and so I'm like, I get so hung up on this stuff sometimes. It's like, oh, I should have healed in 30 days or 6 months, and everybody else does. And why am I slow? And all, and then, like you said, it's like you end up getting down on yourself. And then it's like, well, let me just eat this whole bag of pork rinds at 10:30 p.m. when I get the same thing. If I eat really honestly past 4 o'clock, I don't digest it very well. And I feel like sluggish the next day, and like my, you know, everything will just kind of be off. I'll be tired and things like that. So it's really so important to think back to where we started, remember all the progress we have made, all the things we have accomplished. And, we're living life and we can't be perfect all the time. And so, um, yeah, some of the things I gave up dairy, including butter, completely recently because I think it was giving me joint pain for sure. Because I was having these random, like, my knees would ache and then it would go away. And I thought, is it the weather? Like, is it something to do with, like, I couldn't, because nothing else was really happening. I
I
wasn't
love
working
that answer.
out or anything was
It's like an old
is
person
it
answer. It's the
the
damn
barometric
weather.
pressure? Like, what is going on with my
Damn
knees?
outside, my elbow's kicking up again.
Yes, it's like it's about to storm, you know what I mean? So, but then I realized, like, oh, I really been eating a lot of butter, and then there were a couple days where I didn't eat any, and I noticed I didn't have any joint pain. So I thought, I wonder if it's this last because I really wasn't eating any other cheese, no cream, no other dairy, no yogurt, no whatever. Um, and so that was a big bummer because I love butter, and I'll
But
put it
you
on
gotta
my
listen to your
jerky
body
stuff.
though. Everybody's body's different. Like some people can handle the
Mhm.
butter and then yours can't. But if you're listening to it, it's trying to talk to you, you know. But I think that's a blessing though to have a sensitive stomach because you see, I see people all the time where they don't feel like crap when they eat crap. You know, it does not make them feel crap, and they keep eating it and eating it and eating it,
Mhm.
and I eat the slightest. If I eat like crap for one meal, I'll feel like shit for 3 days. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I just feel bad for people who constantly can keep eating junk and their body doesn't tell them stop. Like, so I feel blessed, you know, when I feel sick like that because it's my body telling me, you know better, bro, you know. And then I get back on track and my body doesn't tell it says, man, I'm feeling good today. So you just gotta listen to yourself and do what's best for you, you know, like no matter what, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree, and I, haven't had any joint pain since I cut butter out, and so, clearly, it's, like, all dairy. But then I go on this thing where I got my GI test back, and I've been thinking so hard about adding in this homemade fermented yogurt, that's one of, like, the ones for SIBO, which I think I probably have had SIBO my whole life or whatever, but, um so then I just cut the butter out for like 4 or 5 days, and then I added in this yogurt, right? And just very small amounts just to see if it would help my digestion. Um, but the first few days were okay, but then I started getting super bloated, had a stomach ache, and I was like, "Nope, I'm backing backing right out of this again." Um, so yeah, it was this one, the Lactobacillus reuteri or however you say it. So I bought the yogurt maker and the starter and the organic whatever cream and made it. So I'm probably still gonna make yogurt for my little one because she loves yogurt. And eats it. So I'll still make it and use that stuff, but I just don't think I can do dairy at all at this point.
You
So
know, and I eat tons of cheese. Like I eat a lot of cheese. I eat more cheese now than I did before. And it doesn't I'm not gaining any weight. I keep losing weight, getting just I'm just looking better and better and I'm just eating cheese. So like I think your body changes too over time. So I think something you might not be able to have now, you might be able to have 6 months from now with no problem as your body heals. It's just something I've noticed as my body's healed, I can have certain things no problem now that I couldn't when I first started carnivore. Hey, yeah, I don't really
okay.
get aches and pains anymore. I really don't. I got a headache the day Jeff died, you know, because I was crying a lot. But otherwise, I haven't had a headache for a year and a half. I don't even have back pains anymore. I don't use my back roller anymore. So, no, when you're eating good, you feel proper. And my buddy Rick knows all about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I it's interesting because I feel like the first time I did carnivore, I could tolerate some dairy, but I wasn't adding butter to a lot of stuff. I just basically ate meat and didn't add any extra fat. I just ate like burgers and like I'd buy those whole rotisserie chickens
So
a lot
butter
and eat
burgers,
those, and I'd eat a lot of sushi and some steaks, and I didn't have any issues, but I was still drinking alcohol. So I really think this time it's because my microbiome wants that booze, you know what I mean? And I still have dreams. I was talking about this with Bart K when I interviewed him recently about how, even a year in now, I'll wake up and it's like a nightmare. Like I have gone out and like eaten a bunch of cupcakes and drank alcohol. Like I'll have these and they're so real. I wake up like feeling like I really did it and feel so guilty. And then it's like, that was like probably these dang microbes down in here, like trying to get me to go, consume that stuff. So I really think that that's what's happening to me is
you
that
have very
there's
vivid
just this
dreams.
microbiome that does not want to die. And like maybe the dairy was feeding it to a certain degree this whole time. Like that's just my own theory, but it is wild. Like it's crazy.
Do you have a lot of vivid dreams on carnivore?
I did in the beginning. I remember having some pretty just like very weird, couldn't figure, they didn't make any sense, but they were very vivid. And then they stopped. But then it's kind of been like, I don't know, once every month, once every 2, 3 months, I'll have these sort of like dreams, like I was just telling you, where I go out and I eat a bunch of just, it's not like I'm going out craving broccoli or salad or, whatever. It's like cupcakes and cheese or cheesecake and chip, like just all the garbage. Or I had one dream that I just went and got drunk, and then the next day I was like, what is, so I really think it's the microbes. That's what I think.
Yeah, that could be. I
Lying.
was having terrible nightmares for a while. So like when you get really clean on carnivore, like I feel like your dreams even get more vivid. So carnivore's it's a ride. It really is.
Yeah, it was horrifying, Rick. And the guilt, I'm telling you, like I would have flashbacks of it during the day and be like, what did I do? It's just so real. Like, and Bart K was saying, he's like, and of course we don't have proof of this, that this is a die-off symptom, but you think about it, it's like an organ living in your body that's not yours. It's like these microbes want to live and they want the food that they're used to. And when you take that away, like they're going to throw out everything they can to try to survive. And so it makes sense that they can sort of tug on those strings in your mind, right? Because there's such a relationship there. So
Absolutely. Yep.
it's crazy. Anyway, that's
Yep.
my weird thing. So I guess my whole theory with Lion, why I might have not done well on it, is because I was having all these cravings for like even eggs and chicken and things like that. So I decided to honor those. But now I'm like, was it the microbes? Like, were they still like, is Lion really what I need to kill all these things off? And maybe there was something in these other foods that was, so I don't know. I may try it again, but we'll see what
Hey,
happens.
nothing wrong with trying it and see what happens because that's experiment, and gotta try something different.
Yeah,
Hey,
good to
how's it going?
wake up from DC's in the
Nice.
house.
It's been a while since I seen David. How you guys doing? Any iguana?
Rick gets iguana cravings, so he doesn't have to go too far to get uh
Wonder if I can
to get a
chase
fix there.
iguanas down and hunt iguanas in the new Grand Theft Auto coming out because it's gonna be Vice City. It's gonna be down in Rick's neck of the woods. So I wonder, if that's gonna be a side quest for GTA. You're gonna hunt some iguanas
That's
or rob a bank with an iguana mask on. Something for Rick.
hilarious. Yeah, Tony's here. Said it right. The microbes are keeping you alive. Yeah, and keeping some of my cravings alive, I think. For sure. Yeah, that'd be funny. I've not played really any video games. I think I tried to play that game, the racing. Is it where you like actually try to drive the cars, or is it?
Yeah, you could drive the cars, steal the cars, rob stores. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's pretty wild. We
Okay.
were playing that together, and I hopped on like a train, and I fell off it. She was on it. We were on it together. So I finally respawned, come back up to the train. She shoots me in the head and kills me as I get right to the train. I'm like, I have to respawn now. What the heck? I was like, I thought we were like playing with your wife, then all of a sudden, like you're like, she's like, and it's like wasted. I'm like, what the heck? So it's just we play game. We mostly play Overwatch and a couple other ones like Rocket League where you can like play soccer with the little cars.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of fun. She likes soccer. I can't physically play soccer, but I can do the video games. But I ain't gonna bust my knees for soccer. But she likes to physically
Yeah.
play soccer, like with the
Oh,
ball.
okay.
So
Yeah, I played soccer for quite a few years in school, in like middle school, high school type of thing. But I sprained both ankles. One season it was the left one, and the next season it was the right one. So I was like, I'm done. Like,
she broke
um,
both her feet before our wedding.
Oh my gosh.
So you ever heard about people getting
Both of
cold?
them?
Yeah, both of them. You heard about people getting cold feet before their wedding? Well, she broke both her feet. I was like, "Listen, if you don't wanna get married, just tell you ain't gotta break both your damn feet so you don't gotta walk down the aisle." So, I was like, "Whatever, you're still doing it, like, I'll push your ass down the aisle, like, get out there, girl." So that's what we did, but
Oh
no,
my
I don't think
god.
people know that she broke both her feet right before the wedding.
Well, now everybody knows it.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Now everybody knows it.
And now, I swear, I'll be
That's
watching
wild.
the Packer game, and when she comes in with that metal plate in her foot, the signal starts going, and then she leaves the room, and it's crystal clear 4K, and she comes back in the room, and it's like
Oh
every
my gosh.
metal plate in your foot, man. We had to break those feet.
That's hilarious.
So are you a
What
Packers
happened?
fan?
Oh, yeah, I
Uh-oh.
haven't watched football in years now, really followed it, but, yeah, I've never, really rooted for any other team.
Sure.
Definitely a Packers fan. I used to have the cheese head. When I was a bartender, I was always working on Sundays, and so, uh, really those were fun years because we always got to, like, wear the jerseys, and I'd bring my cheese head, and everybody would just give me crap because I lived in Florida, so it was just like no, but there were a few Packer fans there, I would say.
Oh,
Quite
they're
a few,
everywhere.
actually.
I think Packers are the
Um,
only
a lot
official
of old
NFL
retired guys.
that's got a bar in every state. So
What
there's like
does?
yeah, Packers, they're the only, like they're the only fan base that has a fan base bar in every state. So you could go in every
Oh,
state and find a Packers club. You can't do that
I
for an
believe
Eagles
that.
fan if you're or a Giants fan. You know what I'm saying? Or, whatever, but you can find a Packers club in every state. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, we downsized so much. I got rid of so much stuff, and I'm like, I don't even think I have uh my jersey anymore. I or my cheese head. I don't think I have it. Um, Trying to think back, but like gotta dig it out to wear it up there. But there's
I would
always a
never do
surplus
it
of
now.
Packer
I
stuff
was
everywhere.
mine was like Fat Boy jersey before. It's probably was like a 4X.
Yeah, you need a new size now. Yeah, Iceny says, check out symptoms of H. pylori SIBO. Yeah, I have a lot of them. Um, especially, I don't know for sure about the H. pylori, but somebody suggested that when I got my test back, which it tested for that, but then I got confused because it said that's one of the things that it scanned for in the culture, the bacterial culture, and I got nothing back there, including no candida, nothing like that. But then it said at the bottom that H. pylori was a separate test, but it did list it in there. So I'm assuming that I got scanned for that, but or they tested for it and it came back negative, but now I'm a little confused. But really the suggestion on there was to check for SIBO, and I've looked into those little breath meters that you can buy for at home. I know some people have used those. I don't know honestly how accurate they are. And the treatment for SIBO is basically you can either do antibiotics or herbals or an elemental diet, and or I can just stay carnivore. Which is essentially an elemental diet in many ways because you're getting all the nutrition you need in the most bioavailable, easy to digest form. It's not liquid like the elemental diet, but the elemental diet protocol has sugar added to it. Like it's full carbs, and they add I can't remember the exact form of sugar, but which feeds these bacteria. So, and then there's a lot of people that say they've done the protocol for SIBO, and then it just comes back as soon as they add other foods in,
Mhm.
um, even if they went through the antibiotic treatment. Or then you're set up for like fungal overgrowth. So I'm not totally sure about, even if I was formally diagnosed with SIBO, if I would go through the standard protocol or not. I'd probably just tough it out like I'm doing right now because that's kind of just how I roll. Like, I don't know. Because I think eventually they have to die, right? If you just starve them long enough,
Long enough, yeah.
they have to die.
The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. I learned that from my coach.
Yes. And that's so interesting too. And I love that you talk about some of these mindset components too, because there really is such a huge, like, I give a lot of weight to that too, is what I think about and my attitude towards healing, my attitude towards my body and myself and how everything works, you know what I mean? And so I think that's a whole part of this healing journey that we end up in. You know, we get to carnivore, we cut out so much junk, we realize, "Oh my gosh, I'm not the person I thought I was. Here I am starting to heal." This healing cascade kind of happens, and then you kind of have to face your demons, so to speak, in some form or fashion, whether it's to do with food or like it was for me with alcohol and food. um you have to come to terms with that stuff, and so there's a lot of shifts that go on over time uh in the mind, and I think uh we can direct a lot more of our healing that way than we realize. I'm not a professional at doing that obviously yet, but I really think a lot of that work that I've done over this last year has helped too. What would you say?
I used to drink a lot too, so what helped me was remembering the times where I chose like the worst types of like my worst choices of alcohol, like drinking Fleshman's vodka. Oh my gosh, I had that at the gathering, the Juggalos. I drank like a half bottle of that straight with nothing else, just kept swigging it during the concert. And to this day, like, I get this, it tasted like hairspray. And whenever, like, you ever think you might want to buy even a beer or something, I just remind myself, I'm like, Jay, you had the worst night after you drank that nasty ass hairspray Fleshman's vodka at the gas. And we had to pull the car over, and I threw up so many times because I kept getting car sick. Oh my, it was terrible. But my point is, you just try to remind yourself of how that stuff makes you feel. So even if you say, "Hey, man, I really love, 2 scoops of chocolate ice cream with the cookie dough," but remind yourself like how that makes you feel like crap. Or you like, "Oh, I want the large, Chicago deep dish." Yeah, but if you eat all that bread, you're gonna feel like crap. So just remind yourself of how little that stuff loves you and how bad it just makes you feel and how good you feel when you're not on it. So that's what helped me just say, hey, as much as I enjoy drinking, I'm not doing that no more. I just hate feeling hungover and sick and I remember that taste of that hairspray vodka. Gosh, never drink. If you want to keep drinking, don't drink Fleshman's. If you want to stop drinking, pick up some Fleshman's.
Yeah, no, it's if you want to stop. Oh, I've been there. I mean, vodka was the last thing I held on to because it was, zero carb essentially, and
But there's better
I
options.
wasn't drinking that. Yes, I would
Yeah,
drink like Tito's or Absolute or something like that most of the time. But
yeah.
yeah, and it's just it's one of those things that it just becomes your comfort, and I think that's why it's so hard. It was so hard for me to let go, even though I knew like this doesn't even taste good. It doesn't really make me feel that good. It sort of makes me feel like wallowy, just kind of like you wallow in your sadness or your anger or whatever, whatever you went to it for to get rid of. It's like you just almost you're like I would go to it because it's like you want to feel something more intensely, and
It does
and
do
it's
that.
almost like you're addicted to that negative feeling. You say in your mind, "Oh, I'm drinking so I can relax," or "I'm drinking so I can not feel mad or not feel sad about this," but it ends up just amplifying it, and there's almost like a positive reinforcement from that because you're like, "Yeah, I'm justified in my anger, right? Yeah, I'm justified in my sadness, or it's this person's fault or whatever." And it just sends you into this spiral where I'd wake up the next day and be like, why did I spend 6 hours last night, sitting here doing that? I could have spent my time doing something positive or productive or getting something done or sleeping, and being more healthy. Like it just doesn't end up really bringing any good solution. At least that was my experience. And so but it's hard to let go because that attachment to those emotions is so real too, and it's addictive, just like food is. And so finding a way to have a substitute, uh, thing to go to that's actually healthy and positive. And for me, that was doing hypnosis and meditation at night. It was just something that would help me fall asleep. And it's like that thing is there for me. It's always there for me, just like that bottle was. But now I'm removing the bottle and I'm putting this here instead. And that's always there, no matter how I feel, it's gonna be there. And so that was sort of like that comfort that I used to just replace that crappy habit.
Right.
Anyway, that was a tangent, but
No, it's all right. Yeah, and I feel like when you like my coach would say not to like sympathize with people because then you're just giving them validation to stay in their low vibration. Like, oh hey Bill, hey buddy, love you buddy.
what's up, Bill?
But if you come across like a family member or a friend or something, and they're pissed off about something, and you say, "Oh, okay, I understand why you validate them to say, okay, see, that's why I should be in a bad mood because they even agreed with me that that was bull crap." So
Right.
instead of doing that, my coach was like, just stay at your high frequency and try to raise them up. But don't go down to theirs and don't validate them that they should stay there, because there was a lady, she had gone through a divorce and she was going to go to counseling for it. And 6 months, I think she said it was for. And she told that to my coach Bob, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go to counseling." And he was like, "Okay, so you want to spend 6 months talking about something bad that happened?" And she's like, "Well, what do you suggest?" He says, "Go home and figure out something that's going to excite you to do for 6 months." So she was like, "Okay, whatever." She came back. She said she wanted to open up schools in Africa. She said that would be something that would excite her, like just totally get her out of her funk. And to this day, he helped her start opening up schools in Africa, schools that have lunch, cafeteria, that have electricity, plumbing, tampons for the girls, because sometimes they wouldn't come to school if they had their time of the month. Like, there's all sorts of things a school needs for it to. Otherwise, before they would build a school in Africa, they'd make a square hut with no windows, no lunch, no electricity, and they wonder why the school would fail. But my point is, like, focus on something that's going to get us excited instead of validating us to stay down in our funk. So, like, even my wife, the fact that she's stuck in her rut, I'm not going to validate that. I'm going to validate, remember when I was in my rut? Yeah, I'm out of it now. So, ruts are
Mm.
nothing. It's just the manifestation hasn't caught up to your inner reality yet. And that sometimes happens. But if you want to speed that up, you have to let go. Okay, because that's like a garden hose. Whenever you're not getting water for your hose, there's always a kink in it. Like you're trying to water the grass and you're like, crap, and then you got to look and unkink it, and then the water flows again. Well, that's how our blessings and our manifestations flow. They don't flow with force. You have to let that go. So, like you were saying, you get a spot here and there, let that shit go. Ignore it, because when you focus on it, you're feeding it. What you give energy to grows. So let that shit go, act like it's not there. And then what you do is you focus on all the good spots, the clear spots on your skin. Say, "Ooh, look at this. Ooh." But don't look at that one spot, because then you're going to maybe get two, three. Focus on the, and then you start growing more of what you think about. More you say, "Man, this skin is so beautiful." And then love your skin. Send it those affirmations, Nia. Be like, "Oh my God, I love," because you do got great skin. You're glowing. I'm telling you, you haven't been in a fire. You're doing great. Okay. So give yourself some credit. You got great skin.
Yeah. No, you're so right, and I agree with you. And I think that's why I love doing these streams and chats because, we all need those reminders from time to time. And it's so great that we can all support each other and be here because we're all on a little bit of a different journey, and when you look at yourself in the mirror every day, sometimes it's hard to notice the change because it's so slow or whatever. But then when you look back or you talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a while, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I've been doing good too. And there all these things are positive and I can focus on the parts of my skin that are doing well. And so
Oh, you got a lot of
um
good parts on the skin, so just stay focused on them.
yeah.
I got a couple things here and there. I don't look at it. If I see a gray hair, I'll pluck that sucker and just look at the rest. I don't
Yeah.
know. No, just for men gel. I'm not doing that. I'll just pluck that sucker and say, "You know better. Next time, grow back in the right way. You know better, and I won't pluck you." So, good affirmations. We're gonna send out good energy.
Yes. CC Music says, I've said it before, but vegetables and carbs put me in a moderate depression. Yes, I realize that sounds ridiculous to most, but my mental health improved roughly 3 months into carnivore. Yep, I
That's
hear
good.
this all the time.
Know you and know yourself, and you got to keep a good mental health. I think that's half the problem out here. Like you got so much domestic violence and shootings at grocery stores and all sorts of nonsense out here because people don't love themselves and take time to take a nap, find something that they're interested in, send themselves some love, eat something good, drink some water. Like it's just all nonsense all the time, and they wonder why there's so much mental health going on because we're not taking time to slow down and to take care of ourselves. If everybody just focused on themselves, the world, it's not a greedy way to think of it. Like if I took a nap and made sure I was healthy and happy for my son, and my wife took a nap and everybody just took care of themselves, the world will be a great place. But when we sitting there worrying about all this other crap, then our health goes down and we're not focused on what we're doing, and you just start doing, and you can't, that's your paradigm. You got to break the paradigm or change the paradigm. But you don't think about what you're doing, it's like driving home. You ain't going to see nothing new unless you take a new path home. Then you might see something you've never seen because you're out of your normal routine. But otherwise, it's just the same old. Like you get caught in that paradigm, and you just got to change it or break it. But it's tough. The paradigm's tough. But once you change it, that's that keto cruise control you get into, and you just live with it and live by it, and you can feel it, and it's just there. How you doing, Mama Cracker?
There's smoke out there. I don't know what that is.
It's not 420.
Um,
What's going on?
yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, was there an accident or something? Can't tell. Yeah, I think this is it's so crucial and it really works. The times in my life when I have, you know, really focused on things that, they seemed impossible. Like building that bus was one of the things. Um, where it's like, I don't have any experience, I don't have any tools, like I don't know how to do any of this. I've never wired anything. Like and I have 6 weeks or so, to 6 to 8 weeks to complete this huge project. It's like, how on earth is this going to happen? But that
You
was,
tracked everything you need, Nia. You
yeah, and it did. Like, it's just like, oh, this person has a bus that I can buy, and they have someone in there who's doing a bus renovation just like mine, and so they have all the tools and like let me use their tools and helped me, and everybody came together to make that project a success, and it was just like I could have never planned it
never
like that or
know.
figured it out. It just happened.
You got to take the leap, though.
And
That's your
so
responsibility, is to take that leap and to go for it. And that's how you grow those wings. And that's how you start flying all over the place. And the spoils always go to the risk takers. So you gotta take the risk. You gotta go out there. And my coach said, you want to do shit where you think, how would this even happen? Who cares? That's God's job. Okay, that's a power, that's a power above us. Okay, your job is to just know what you want and then to take action. You still have to take some action. We can't just sit there and pray about it. We got to pray and take action. When God healed the
right,
man, he told him to get up now. He didn't say keep laying there with your lame ass. He said get up and go. You had to take some action. If you really believed you're healed, get up and go. So as long as we take action, we can have anything we want. That's the beautiful part. But you got to know what you want. You got to be very specific, and you got to write it down. I did that and I got my manifestation recently, and it's beautiful. But you got to write it down specifically, because a lot of people say they want let's just say they want more money, for instance, you can find a penny on the floor. You got more money, but you be mad as my people who come to my coach, they're like mad as hell. They're like, that's not what I'm talking about. He's like, well, you weren't specific. And if you're not specific, God will play you for a joke every time, because if you think he's a joke, he'll show you you're the joke. Because if you don't believe in God that you can ask for something specific and get it, then you are the joker, because he can grant you anything. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to know what you want, though. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall be open to you. He doesn't say that for no reason, but you got to know what door you're knocking on. You just can't go knocking on ding dong ditching. You got to know what door you're knocking on, and the door will be open. But you gotta know what it is, you guys. And if it's better health, stick to it. Stick to carnivore. Keep knocking on that door, and that door of health is gonna be open to you. How much weight? I've lost
Yes.
over 100 pounds. I don't keep track anymore, but I know it's over 100 for sure. I went from a 2X shirt. I'm in a small now, and I feel good. I feel great. I felt good. I thought I was doing good when I was in a medium. Now I'm in a small. I feel great. My mom's like, well, that's a little small. I'm like, well, I look good. So whatever, you know. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know what I'm weighing. I think last time I weighed in, I was 187, and I've been lifting some more weights, trying to get my weight up, because anything under 200 pounds is victim weight. Most crime victims, are weigh less than 200 pounds. So I'm trying to get up to 200 pounds. You
That's
know,
interesting.
I'm not trying to get fat again. I'm just trying to get my muscle up. But a lot of kidnappings you see on the news, none of them are fat. They're not overweight. They don't kidnap fat people. They're just too much work. They kidnap the skinny ones. So if you guys are a little thin, try to get some exercise in there. Just be safe out there, okay? But anything under 200
Uh,
pounds is victim weight. So just work on it, okay?
yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I wanna put on more muscle. I used to be, I did a lot of yoga for a lot of years, and strong, what I call strong yoga. So the teacher that I followed, she incorporated a lot of different things. So a lot more like calisthenics, um, a lot of high intensity drills in there too. So you were working your heart rate, and a lot of push ups, a lot of arm balances and strength things like that. And single leg stuff. So uh, I used to be really strong, and then I feel like having a baby sort of like sucked all the muscle out of my body. It's when I got my DEXA scan and at the conference, I was like, I have no muscle. I had less than I even thought I did.
We won't
So,
affirm that though.
um,
Yeah, we don't want to affirm that. We won't affirm. I don't think it's something
right. So,
on you. I think you're doing
I am working on that now, and I've already noticed. Like, you see that little?
Yeah,
Where is
I
it?
see
You
getting
see
some dents
this
in
right
there.
here?
I don't really have the dents yet. I don't
Because I
have any
looked the
dents.
other day. I kind of woke up and like, oh, stretched, and I was like, there's a muscle coming already.
That's
See?
cool. That's good.
So, yeah, there you go. Few
That's
weeks
great.
to doing some push-ups and some
Do you go to the
yoga,
gym
and
at all,
here we
Leah?
go. Huh?
Do you go to the gym at all?
No.
No?
No, I just do stuff at home. We got a little like pull up bar thingy with a push-up. It's got little handles for push-ups, but really I haven't been doing that much. I just been getting back into yoga, and I've been I did actually for the Healing Humanity community that just launched. There's courses in there, and I put together a functional training course for that community, so that's up in there.
That's great.
That's kind of when I was like just getting back into it, and so I was like, this feels really good. I'm gonna keep doing this again, because I was working out a lot, and then I was so chronically
You ever
fatigued
thought
when I
about
first
doing
started again.
live yoga sessions?
I have. I'm actually building something right now on my website. So I was gonna have it all ready to launch by October 1st before we went to this meetup, but I'm not a technical, very good with techie stuff and the whole website building thing. So it's taking me a little bit longer, but
Okay.
I've got about 6 classes done that are up there, but I want to build up a little bit more. Um, So, because that's something that's really been another huge part of my healing journey throughout. It's, I tell Ben sometimes, I'm like, it's almost like therapy. Just doing movements always felt like that for me. It's just a way to release emotion and stress, and um, so I'm combining primal movement, yoga, functional training, sort of in a more Western sense, and then infusing that with visualization and meditation. So, like some of the things we were just talking about,
Yeah.
infused into while you're doing movement like this, and strengthening and mobilizing and opening everything up. Like it's super powerful, and
Ooh.
it's very, very healing. At least it's been for me. So that's my goal, is to kind of have that be my contribution to the carnivore space as well, because I think so many people are coming from either a deconditioned state from being overweight and not being very active, or being sick and very drained and tired, or maybe you've over exercised in the past and sort of abused the cardio aspect of it. So it's like, again, just being kind to your body and treating it with respect and care, and building up strength slowly. And um, so really that's something that I've been learning and doing and have certifications in, and all stuff for 15 years. And so that's something that I'd like to um, contribute. I think that will really help people as well. So coming
Whatever.
soon, if I can figure out how to make it all the navigation work on my website.
Right. Yeah, whatever you're most passionate about, you have to pursue that, because that's what's going to give you the most success. Is whatever, wherever your heart is at. If it's with yoga, then you gotta just go with wherever, because that's when you align with your true desires, then you shine the brightest. That's when you shine brightest.
I agree. Excellent. Okay, scrolling through some of these comments here. Well, we've hit an hour here, so I don't want to keep you all past.
She's just chasing the kid around. He's a handful these days.
Okay. Primal movement is, yeah, it could be considered climbing trees, Mama Cracker. It's really kind of a general term for um, movement that mimics the locomotion patterns of different animals. So a lot of it is 4 points of contact on the ground. So like crawling movements, hopping movements. There's some, plyometrics that can be involved in there with jumping. I'm going to start putting out some videos on my channel too, for the public, that are like 3 primal movements for this, or just to kind of introduce some of those concepts too. So it's basically like what a lot of functional training would be considered in a Western context. So, but
I do a lot of that.
more
I have
fun
no
involved, I think.
myself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, watch a baby or watch a toddler, how they interact, how they climb up a stool, or how they jump off of something, or how they learn to walk, right? They'll crawl towards something and then pull themselves up. It's like, or yeah, watch kids at the playground. They're running and jumping on things and swinging off of things. And I mean, that's all, that stuff is movement that we should be able to do into our adulthood, for the most part. And so just doing anything we can to increase the range of motion and flexibility of our joints is crucial. And then maintaining our muscle, right? Because we want muscle as we age, obviously for remaining independent, remaining agile, and able to move around and take care of ourselves. So
I ain't going to no old folks home. I have my
no.
shotgun. Anybody hits the door, they're getting shot. I ain't going nowhere. So you got to have that core strength if you want to stay out of the. Rick knows, Rick will never go in an old folks home. Rick
Yeah.
will be like, he's gonna be catching iguanas 60 years from now. I love that guy.
Yeah. And that's how we should be. I mean, in general, um we should be flexible and able to, lift. You should be able to lift your knee up to your chest, and not struggle with that. You should be able to, cross your leg over your knee and put on a shoe without pain. Like all these things that that we end up thinking, oh, in our 40s even or 50s, it's like, oh, I'm just kind of can't do these things anymore, falling apart. Like that
That's
shouldn't
not
be
normal.
normal.
Yeah,
It's not normal for the way we are, made up. And so inflammation is a huge part of that, obviously. And so that's something we're all familiar with, is dropping a lot of this inflammation when we change our diet. And then once you lose the weight or you drop the inflammation, you start getting energy again, you start feeling better, then you can start adding some of this stuff in to build that joint strength and stability back up and create well-rounded functional strength so that we can move throughout our day and move throughout our life doing the things we do every day with more grace and ease and less injury and all that kind of stuff. So no more spraining ankles like me or uh,
breaking your feet like my wife.
breaking feet. Yeah, in the beginning. Cool.
You can bite your toenails, Rick? Oh man. I learned something new about you today.
Gross. But good for your hip flexibility, I would
Well, if
say
you
then.
can't find a toenail trimmer, you're covered, Rick.
Got some iguana foot dried out laying around in your house somewhere. You can just use those claws, you know what I mean? I guess as a
Got
toenail clipper.
iguana
Did you?
claw.
I don't know. Okay. Well, if anybody have any questions yet? I don't think I
Speak now or
missed
forever hold
any. Speak
carnivore view.
now, or you'll have to wait till Saturday to
Yes.
see us. I don't know. Do you know if anybody's streaming this event or if it's
Oh,
going to
Carrie,
be
probably.
recorded or probably? Okay.
I'll bring my camera, and we'll see. Maybe we'll make a little vlog out of it, like I did for the Thiensville one, which is good
Yeah.
because, guys, don't take these meetups for granted. That last meetup in Thiensville, um, Do- Carrie was talking with Dr. Jordan Peterson's wife, and uh, Jordan Peterson and his wife were laying in bed watching Carrie's video of the meetup in Thiensville. And she mentioned the guy with the cow hat, and I was like, "You're kidding me!" So you guys are watching. I was jumping. They had like a kumbaya circle, and I jumped in the middle like they were playing keep away, and I was just joking around. So I'm like, so okay, so Dr. Peterson's laying in bed, watch me jump around with my cow hat. That's just great. Great first impression. Like, geez, he didn't watch anything serious. He just sees me act like an idiot at the park. Like, that's great. So, but my point is,
You got to
when you
stand
guys
out,
come, when you guys come, you don't know who's going to be watching these videos because it's more than just a meetup. This is it's an inspiration for the community, man, to see people get together and to think like this, to move like this, to act like this. This has never been done before. So yeah, people watch these videos for sure. And you never know. Like Jordan Peterson might be laying there at night with his wife watching, like, who's this Nia? Who, with this yoga stuff, or who's this dude with the cow? You just never know. So put yourself out there and be you, be bright, and be big. You know what I'm saying? Do it big and keep it positive.
Yeah.
Dib kip. Do it
Love it.
big and keep it positive. Dib kip.
Papa Carnivore's asking about Anna. We talked about this a little bit in the beginning.
She's doing good.
She was here and she shared how she's doing and some things she might be changing and things. So maybe rewind and we spent a little bit of time on that question in the beginning. So thank you. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out, chatting with us tonight. Thanks JT and
Absolutely.
Anna, if you can hear
Yes.
me.
If you guys are on my channel, make sure you go subscribe. Oh, whoops. Make sure you go subscribe to Nia's channel. If you're watching from my channel, go subscribe to her channel. She does way more carnivore content than I do, so you're gonna wanna be on her channel, okay?
Well, subscribe to we should all subscribe to each other, right? So if you're watching here, um, make sure you hit up JT and Anna's channel. I think if I didn't leave it in the description yet, I will put it down there as soon as we sign off. Oh, Sherry's here. Hello. Yeah, sorry y'all. We're a little early tonight, but
Are you starting a yoga channel, like a separate channel?
no, I think I've thought about doing a separate one, but I think I'm going to just put it out on this one. But then my website is really going to be the place where I'm going to have classes for the most part. And so I'm putting a couple ideas together for that project there. So hopefully, yeah, by the end of the month, I'll have that
Awesome.
ready to at least put out there into the world. So,
Let's
um,
go.
yeah. So thanks everybody, and hope you have a fantastic week. Stay strong. Keep
Yeah,
that
we'll
light
see
shining
you guys
bright,
on
right? Keep eating
Saturday.
that meat. Yeah, and I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Saturday
Woo!
in Montello, Wisconsin. We're gonna have everybody. Dr. Kiltz. You're gonna have Nia there. You get to meet Nia. I'm gonna be there. My wife's gonna be there. It's gonna be big. Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz. And
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Bill and Rick and everybody. Love you guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Keep your head up. We got this, and we're all in this together. We're all one. Okay. Love you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks everybody.